George from the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago out on the street, and we have a little group here from a little group of monetary activists. And we just started talking, and I'll just film here as we go along.
We have the right. We have the right to the outside.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're here as a continuation of the conversation that the Occupy movement started 3 years ago. And the conversation was, why is our society so unequal? Why is our society so unequal? And all we have to do here is look up. We can see these buildings that house what's really a criminal enterprise. The Federal Reserve Bank, Bank of America across the street, the other huge banks here. It's a criminal enterprise, ladies and gentlemen, because the United States monetary system does not belong to the people. The United States monetary system belongs to these huge banks and the elite class that owns them. Our money should belong to the people and not the bank. There was legislation in the last Congress called the NEED Act, National Emergency Employment Defense Act, that would have brought that about. You can Google it, the NEED Act, or just go to monetary.org, the website for the American Monetary Institute, to learn more about the NEED Act. Shop over here, start to look at the development stages there with it. Because these are some of the most knowledgeable monetary minds in the world. Earlier this year, a group of us ventured to the Federal Reserve in Washington, D.C. when they held their, just talk to these gentlemen here, they know all about it. When they held their conference with the European Central Bank, we requested that they bring their conference out of the secret confines of the Federal Reserve to talk to the people so we can know exactly what they're planning. But what the NEED Act would do for us, and I suggest you Google it, go to monetary.org, what the NEED Act would do would be immediately put 10 million Americans to work rebuilding our country's infrastructure. It would take the Federal Reserve and make it federalized. The Fed, make it federal. Because right now the Federal Reserve is owned by the private banks. So they represent the interests of the private banks. In addition to federalizing the Federal Reserve, the NEED Act would strip banks of their power to create our money, which they do out of thin air. And the third reform of the NEED Act would be for the U.S. government to create U.S. money debt-free and spend it into circulation for the needs of the nation. And we have many needs. The private sector, the financialized private sector owned by these huge banks, has made it very clear that they have no intention to use their money in any sort of jobs creating endeavors. That's why we need our government to create money for us, so that we can put our people back to work and rebuild our country.